Do the words in math problems even matter? We were talking about how to help students make sense of the math, how to help students make sense of word problems, and the following scenario came up. I put a word problem up on the board with some sentences, many words, a few numbers sprinkled in here and there, and I read the problem to the group and I asked, okay, let's look through here. What's important? What are we trying to find out? And suddenly, from the back of the room, one of the educators yelled out, the words aren't important at all. We can just cross out all the words. Really, it's just the numbers that are important. Just cross out all the words. It's a waste of time. Just cross them out. And I thought to myself, uh-oh, I'm not sure if we all fully understand how to make sense of problems. But here we go. Let's have a good conversation. Here's the thing. That thinking isn't unusual with a lot of educators. You might even do the same thing. You might even think the words really aren't that important. Let's just highlight the numbers. However, when we do that, we sacrifice entrance points for a lot of students. We sacrifice the ability for students to make some understanding and to kind of build some understanding before they solve the problem. Many of us, when we were taught math, were taught the same idea, the same strategy, that it's really the words that are just decoration. They're there just to distract you and just look at the numbers. When in fact, that's actually backwards thinking. We want to actually embrace the words. We want to talk about how the words help us build meaning because real math is real problem solving. It's not just naked raw math computation. When students just look at the numbers of a problem, they might think, oh, I'm going to add, I'm going to multiply, I'm going to divide, I'm going to spin the wheel to see what comes up, and I'll immediately have an answer. And that's very often not at all related to what the question's actually asking. When students skip the storyline of a problem, they miss the what's happening, they miss the why am I doing this, and they miss the making sense of what's happening in the problem. Some of the students might get the right answer, but many of the students won't get the right answer, and in fact, they have no idea if it's the right answer or not, or if it makes sense, or if the estimation makes sense, because we never actually made sense of the words of the problem. We never made sense of the problem scenario. So if I asked, does that make sense? They say, I don't know, I did the algorithm. As we kept talking about that in that room full of educators, I heard many teachers in the room have that aha moment saying, oh, I realize now that actually leaning into making sense of the words has some real value. It helped me to understand why we do some of these things so I can see how it can help students to understand why they might want to do some of these different procedures. Leaning into the words helps to build that meaning we can build off of. So yes, the words do matter a lot, and they allow an entrance point. They allow access to many students to be able to understand why I would do various parts, why I would do various strategies, why those strategies may or may not make sense.